can't remember a time in my life when I've been so contemptuous and sick and disgusted of a political party. Oh, my God. Anyway, back to the horror that's occurring in North Carolina, thanks to the Republican governor, Pat McCrory there, who yesterday signed into law a measure that's going to slash unemployment benefits. Slash unemployment benefits by a third. I mean, I realize what the Republican mantra is, that people who get unemployment are just, along for the free ride. God damn, look, I'm making $300 a week and I don't have to do anything except sit here on the front porch and smoke my tobacco and drink my Jack Black. When the truth is not that at all. I've mentioned before, Kathy and I were on unemployment here in Georgia when she was 7 months pregnant. And it is not a pleasant place to be. Not at all. And if somebody would have come up to me during that time, 9 years ago, and said, well, I see you and your old lady are just getting a free ride. Oh, she's pregnant, huh? Oh, goddamn, how you going to pay for your kid? I probably would have picked up my 30-06 and put a bullet right through their forehead. Now, I'm serious. I really mean that. Somebody would come into my house, my property, and get mouthy like that. They would gotten dead real quick. I have a very short fuse about these kinds of issues because I've seen too much of it. I've seen too many people have their lives destroyed because of Republicans. I've seen too many American soldiers being blown to pieces because of Republican lies. No, I haven't seen them being blown to pieces, but you know what I'm talking about. I've read the casualty reports, the death notices, because of Republican lies, because of the filth Republicans put out every time they open their stinking mouths. It's just astonishing. It's incredible. The treachery that these Republicans visit on everyone else, and yet we continue to tolerate them. So and the maximum, when Kathy and I were on unemployment, maximum is $300 a week here. That was so funny. We had to attend meetings. Go to the meetings at the Department of Labor, state of Georgia. And they used to say, well, what are your skills, sir? Well, I do talk radio. What else do you do? I could probably sell stuff door to door, deliver pizzas. And then they would say to Kathy, have you been out looking for a job? And of course, Kathy was 7 months pregnant with the great big belly. And Kathy would say, well, sort of. I've been sending out resumes, but look at me. No? What happened?
No, I used to just sit there and I would be stroking my belly and I'd say, I go on interviews and I don't know. I don't know what it is about me. They look at me and they're just, I guess I'm just not what they're looking for. And they'd ask me, well, are you using some of the tips and training that we've taught you, or are you going in with your positive attitude and dressed for success? And here I am wearing my pregnant overalls and, my support hose. I'm going, yeah, I'm dressing. I think I look successful.
You look pregnant.
And I'm successfully pregnant. I don't know what it is. They look at me and I guess they figure, well, we don't want to train you for a month and then, you go into labor.
And of course, and Kathy was much more qualified for the workforce than I. In the first place, she was considerably younger. In the second place, she's college educated. Whereas me, well, I'm college educated, but I'm not degreed. That liberal Mike Malloy, he didn't even finish college. You're right, I didn't. But I digress. Back to North Carolina, which is one of the places where I didn't finish my college education, NC State. But anyway, back in North Carolina, where people are hurting. People are really hurting. And the Republican governor, how long's the son of a bitch been there? Since what? January 1st, January 10th? I don't know. When did they swear him in? Look what he and the legislature have done already. Now, critics of cutting the unemployment benefits, of course, point out the obvious, that it's going to harm some of North Carolina's already hurting residents, the most vulnerable residents. North Carolina has almost 500,000 jobless workers. The unemployment rate in that state is almost 9.5%. What is it nationwide? 7 point something? The North Carolina Justice Center, which is a communist, a social justice advocacy group, said in a statement after the bill signing on yesterday, on Tuesday, North Carolina Justice Center spokesperson said, quote, hundreds of thousands of jobless workers thrown out of work through no fault of their own will face deepening poverty as a result of this decision. Statement went on, North Carolina's legislature and governor chose to permanently cut benefits, reduce employers' contributions over time, and reject $700 million in federal extended benefits. They turned the goddamn money down. They stood in the State House in Raleigh. These filthy pigs stood there and said, no. We don't want the almost $1 billion from the federal government to help our unemployed workers. No, we don't want it. And we're going to reduce employers' contributions to the unemployment fund. And we're going to kick people off the rolls. And we're going to cut the ones remaining on the rolls, cut their income by a third. You stinking bastards. I'll tell you this, just let this keep up. I realize it's hard. I realize a lot of people are hurting, but just let it keep up because the time is coming. I swear to you, the time is coming where the American people, the sensible ones, are going to rise up and they're going to put an end to this. I swear to you, it's going to happen. And how do I know? Look at history. Look at any situation where the government became so oppressive, so rancid, so rotten. And by the government, I'm talking about Republicans who have a death grip on the government. I'm not talking about Obama. I'm not talking about the Democratic Party. There's all sorts of things over in that direction that could be corrected too. But it's these filthy, murderous Republicans I'm talking about now. The time is coming when these Republicans are going to be held accountable in the most direct way imaginable. So let the sequester happen, you filthy dogs. Let it happen. And you Republican governors and you Republican legislatures who continue to gerrymander your states to try to keep people who are normal and sensible and rational from electing a representative to go to Washington with your gerrymandering. You try to make sure that only these teabag right-wing neo-Nazi bastards will be the ones that leave your state to go make it even worse. I'm telling you, I swear to you, I take an oath to you that the time will come when you are going to have to answer to the rest of us in a very direct, clear-cut